your bike. Alright, so this video cut out a little bit. So last night at 5:03 p.m. I got a phone call that I didn't ever want to get. And it's a woman screaming and crying on the phone because she was riding down the street, right down this way, exactly like this, about half a mile from where I'm at right now. And at first I didn't understand what was going on because she was screaming so loudly, and I wasn't sure how to handle the situation because no one's ever called me after they just got smashed by a car. So I panicked and I didn't know what to say. Like, in all honesty, I didn't know what to say because the way she was describing the car is she was, and this is something that happened, I'll show you guys in a little bit, at the exact place where it happened, and I happened to be driving right by at the time, and I didn't know what was happening, is that she was standing right here, and she told me she could see the car coming far away, and she thought that the car saw her, and so she proceeded to get in the way of the car, and the car didn't see her, and so she got run over right here. And this is the scenario that most people don't get, is that cars aren't looking for you. If you get in their way, they will run you over. And that's the way that I almost got run over once, because I assumed the driver in the car saw me. I could have sworn I looked at them. If I'm going to cross in front of a car, I always make sure that they have eye contact. Because if you don't have eye contact with that driver, then you don't exist. And even if you do have eye contact with that driver, as the driver said to her yesterday, oh, I was completely out of it. I was just at an appointment getting a massage or something like that. So she was already not in the best frame of mind. And the way she described the car as being far away and then feeling her body just slide underneath the car was frightening. So right here is where the exact same thing happened to one of the cashiers that I talk to regularly at the Kroger. She was literally right here. And the car came from over there right at her. She was right here crying on the side of the street when I passed by. I was driving past here when she was right here, after the car had just run over her and her bike, again, destroying the bike. So today, we have to evaluate whether or not we're going to take her to the doctor, make sure she's okay, because she didn't know she was hurt yesterday, and that's what happens when you get run overs. In the moment, you don't know if you're okay because you're so scared that you just was under a car. And she was screaming at me that the only reason it didn't smash her whole body is because she landed just outside of the tire. And again, that right there, just because you're on the sidewalk doesn't mean that you're safe. Like, even I won't ride my bike in the bike lane because I've had too many incidents of cars coming close to me on purpose. So yes, just because you're on the sidewalk doesn't mean cars won't run you over. So I don't know. I guess I wasn't expecting to get that phone call after having a tough day at work. And it was like half an hour of just screaming. And I was just like, I don't know. I've never been that close to being like killed by a car before. So I didn't know what to say or what to do. I mean, I remember telling her that she needed to get a bike helmet. And then she's just like, well, if I get a bike helmet, then that means I'm preparing myself to be run over again. And I was just like, I don't know what to tell you. If you're going to ride a bike where there are cars, there's a chance that they're going to run you over. There's no way of stopping that. Like, I was over at Dominic's Cycler one afternoon a few years back when I was getting this bike tuned up, and almost every half an hour to 45 minutes, there was a new person in that bike shop with the back tire that had been tacoed by a car. And that's because there's a lot of bikes near the university, like thousands of them. And every day, someone gets run over. I mean, not every day does someone get killed by a car, but getting hit by a car is a pretty traumatic experience. And most of the time, it's going to be by a person that you would have never thought. In fact, after she smashed her with her car, they put her smashed bike in the back of her car and she drove her home. Well, that didn't happen with my cashier friend here. The car ran her over. She had these huge, giant bruises. The whole area above her knees to her waist was just bruises from where the car had hit her. And the lady made sure she just looked okay, and then she drove off. And she just assumed that she was fine. And I'm like, you're not fine after someone tries to run you over with their car or runs you over. So sometimes people will run you over and then run away. And luckily she still had enough wits on her so that she took a cell phone picture of her license plate, but that lady just took off. At least this lady, I mean, I don't know what I would have done again. I've never been like close enough to I've had a car touch my back tire a few times because I did that. I made that mistake of knowing that the car was turning right and I was coming from the side where they don't look, because when the car's going to turn here, they're looking this way. They're always going to be looking this way. If you're going to turn right here, you're looking that way only in your car. And so if the bike is coming in the opposite direction, like if you're coming from that direction, if you're coming from this direction and the driver's only interested in traffic from this way, they don't look to make sure it's clear because they assume it's clear because when they got there, it was clear. And so when they turn right and you happen to be in the spot that they thought was clear just a few seconds ago, they are going to run you over. And I can't emphasize this enough because this is a scenario in which most people get run over, even if you're on the sidewalk. So don't put yourself in a place where you know cars are going to run you over. Because if you think that they're going to stop afterwards, imagine you're scared because you got run over. They're scared because they could potentially face hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of medical bills or other punishment for running you over. So they're scared too. So now you have two scared people, and their most likely scenario is, well, I better get out of this situation before I get in trouble. So they'll run you over and then they'll take off. I mean, how many times have we heard of people getting hit in the street by cars and cars just keep going? Why? Because you can't undo it. Once you run someone over, you can't undo it. That's permanent. And I imagine it creates trauma. It's one of my biggest fears is running over a person when I'm in my car. I'm extra sensitive to it because I rode a bike for so many years. I mean, I've ridden a bike every day for my entire life since I was 6. It's only in the last 3 years that I've been able to get inside a car. So when you're riding a bike from the age of 6 until my age, you become very hypersensitive to cars because they're all around you. They want to go really fast. Drivers are often distracted, and you become the victim of their being distracted. So, and then once you do get run over, what do? You call me screaming, right? I still don't know what I was supposed to do in that situation. I keep thinking about it and like, what would I do now if she called me again? Because she told me she's not going to stop riding her bike. And I was just like, okay. You know, and the worst part is that both of these people were new bike riders. She's only had that bike able to ride that bike for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And so was the other girl, the Kroger's cashier. She'd only been riding that bike for a few weeks to work. She literally lives right there. She rides her bike from that apartment complex over there to right there where the Kroger's is. So literally, this is how far she has to go to work. From there to there. And in the short span from there to there, she got run over right there. So it can happen to anyone at any moment. And again, I haven't had the unpleasantries of being run over despite riding a bike my entire life. But the one thing that I knew for certain, and this is what I told her too, is that you don't have the experience yet to know when cars aren't going to stop. Because that's the terrifying part. It's like, the first thing she told me is like, I could see them. They were far away. And I thought they could see me. And I was just like, no. That's why you got run over, because they didn't acknowledge you until you were underneath the car. That's when they acknowledged the fact that they'd hit something. And it's you don't want to be in that situation where you're the person being smashed by the car. All right, so let me see if I can read some of your guys' comments. Hello. Hi guys. I'm sorry, I was just off on a tangent just now, just because I'm still kind of shocked by what happened yesterday, and not sure if I dealt with it in the best way. Hello chat. Oh, I'm just trying to deal with it. I mean, I still haven't talked to her yet this morning to see if we're going to go to the doctor to make certain that she's okay. Because, I mean, the way that she was acting yesterday, I kept asking her over and over again, are you hurt? And she kept saying, I don't know if I'm hurt. And I'm like, oh my goodness. It was just a really, 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 really terrifying experience. And I don't know what to say. Just ironically out on a bike too now, trying to deal with what happened. Look, there's an Oscars there now. Right. All right, so as you guys can see, riding down the street. Not sure where I'm going. Just needed to get out of the house and then just wait for her to wake up so that we can go to the doctor. I don't know why people have to drive so fast. You guys aren't saying much, are you? Well, you guys watching this later on, making this video because I know 2 people that have been run over on their bikes in the last month, and it just generally, I don't know, I just don't know how to feel. Like, I don't know what to say to them. Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone should care. I just, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I've been, these lights when you're turning like this, being in the crosswalk doesn't mean they're not going to run you over. Like right here. See? I always don't know if they're going to stop or not. So I always make sure there's no one there before I turn. And then right here, sometimes you're going to pop up right here, and that car is going to be right there, and they're not looking for you because you just popped out from behind those cars. Where are we going? I'm just out recording a bike safety video. And then also right here is where they'll get you. They'll swing around and smash you right here. That's another tough one because they sneak up behind you. And like I've told many people before, the car that's going to murk you is going to be the one that you never see. And you're just going to go into the tires and that's it. The screen's going to go black and you're gone. Because you didn't see them and they didn't see you. But you're the one that's going to pay the ultimate price for not seeing them. So they're just going to feel a bump underneath the tires, and you're going to feel every inch of those tires. And then you're just gone. That's the weird part. You're just gone. And sometimes it's not your fault. I mean, you just become a casualty of the road, I guess. No, it's not good. Let me just recap for the people that just joined. So last night, I'm just, if you've already heard this, too bad. So last night at 5:03, I got a call from my acquaintance, and she had just been run over by a car. And so I didn't know what to say. And today we're going to go see if her bike can be fixed. If not, we're probably going to have to get her a new bike because it sounded like the car just destroyed it. It ran over the bike completely. And usually when the bike gets run over, it's not going to be able to be reused. She kept telling me last night, it's just the wheel, it's just the wheel. No, it's not just the wheel. In order to run over the whole tire, they run over part of the frame. And if a car runs over your bike frame, it's not good anymore. So, yeah, that's what I was trying to explain to her. She literally got out her bike manual and she was looking through it and she's like, yeah, I wasn't going the right way. But cars don't matter. Like, I go that way just because it's, I feel like they can see you better. Like if you're riding towards them, or if it happens to be that your house is on that side of the street and you're going across the street. Yeah, that's the thing that scared me the most last night. It's like when I got on the phone with her, I thought she was really injured. Like she literally got on her phone the second the car like smashed her. And I mean, I don't know how to. I'm not good at dealing with other people's being hysterical, but I think I would have reacted the same way if I was just underneath the car. Like, so I don't know, my stomach really hurts this morning. And we still have to go to the doctor. So I am. Hey, so you guys are getting little crowns on your names. It says for fans that you guys get little crowns. So yeah, so I'm standing here and I don't know how else to express all that I've expressed in this video other than that's not a phone call you want to get. And like I said earlier, I had already had a pretty traumatic day at work. And getting home, having to listen to that for half an hour, because the whole half an hour she's just screaming and crying and screaming and crying. And mainly she was crying because she was now afraid of cars. And so once you become afraid of something, you probably can't do it. Like as a mountain biker, I've taken many heinous wipeouts on the trail. And I went years without getting smashed on the rocks at South Mountain. But eventually, the better you get at mountain biking, the more challenging you want the terrain to be. So once you start riding the Holbrook Trail every day, it's only a matter of time before you're going to run into a situation in which you're going to crash. And the Holbrook Trail doesn't really allow a whole lot of sympathy once you do crash. There's really not any soft patches to crash in. It's all rock and debris. So, sorry guys, there's a weird old man just staring at me. He pulled up in his truck and he's just staring at me now. It's like, you're in this giant parking lot. You're going to pull up next to the guy recording on his phone. Maybe it's his business. Maybe that's his business. That's why he's there. But aside from that, he still hasn't gotten out of his truck yet. And, ooh, the wind's blowing cold. When the wind blows cold in Arizona in July, that means monsoon. So, yeah, I was over there. And that truck pulled up right next to me, and the guy just started staring at me, and I'm like, whoa, uncomfortable. It's, I'd say, MS, you need to get some liquids, water, and find somewhere to get out of the thoughts that are holding you down, to recalibrate yourself. It looks like it's about to rain, guys. It's a cold wind, dark clouds. Not typical July in Arizona, I'll tell you that much. I like seeing how all the people come out of the gym kind of dressed the same way in workout clothes. And I was talking to a friend of mine on the weekend. Friend's a strong word. Anyhow, we were talking about this brand of gym, and she said, I don't think they're going to make it very much longer because there's so many more trendy gyms in the world. So comparatively to like Lifetime or even eSporta, which this was for a little while, or Vasa, these old style LA Fitness is like a throwback to like 1980s gyms. This gym has been here since I was a baby. And if you walk inside of it, it's got all the telltale signs of being old. And usually old gyms don't attract young people. Like the crowd in here is really old. And what's strange is that this area has got 40,000 young people that are all attending the university 2 miles down the street. And yet this place is still open. And it's very, very primitive inside. Anyhow, I don't know what else to say. If you guys watched this video, found it helpful, please leave a like. I think I'm just gonna ride my bike back up the street. Like, I live up the street from here, and probably try to go home and think about what happened and what new bike riders don't think about. And like, to me, I treat every single situation with being by a car as being potentially them running you over. So that's how I've kept myself safe my whole life, is like I don't just think about the car in front of me. I think about the car behind me, the car to the side to me, and I assume that everyone behind the wheel is drunk. So when they do something weird, like if they pull out in front of you, or if they come too close to you, that's why, like I said, I don't ride in the bike lane, because I've had too many cars get too close to me in the bike lane. And I mean, some people won't do that, but other people will. And the people that will get too close to you, well, you don't want to be too close to any cars on a bike. So I don't know. Oh crap, see what I mean? That car's trying to back up into me right there. I'm literally talking about bike safety while the car's pulling up to run me over while going backwards because it didn't see me. Boy. Two biking kills. Yeah, I mean, it's no joke, man. I mean, I'm literally staring at the place where she got run over. Right there. And I mean, think about it. Like I said earlier, she lives right there, and she got run over right there by a car. What are the chances of being run over within 100 yards of your house? And I'm just like, and she works right there at the corner. So she's riding her bike this way, going home, and bam, run over. She can literally see her house while she's down underneath the car. Biking is less visible and therefore more dangerous a lot of the time. It is very dangerous. Like, I mean, especially, she kept when she was being crazy on the phone with me, she's like, it was just a little car that hit me. Imagine if it had been a big car. They wouldn't even have seen her. So, but I don't know what to say. Cars are dangerous, man. What makes cars so dangerous is that the people are in them. Did you get canned? Nah. I got a warning. I got a warning instead of canned. And I was just like, you can fight back, but I was just like, you know what? I just don't care anymore. Be safe out there. I guess if you feel the need to bike, it's truly the drivers you have to watch out for, not so much the other bikes. Exactly. Well, the other bikes pretty much just leave you alone. I don't think I've ever crashed into another bike before, though. Thinking about it. Oh my gosh, that house only has a swamp cooler on it. Look at that. Man, that house must be miserable right now. Swamp coolers don't work in Arizona between July and August. Is today paid vacation? No, it's sick leave. I've got to take somebody to the hospital. I got to take her to the hospital. We got to go take her bike to the shop to see if it can be repaired. Because the lady that ran her over said that she would, the lady said that she would pay for the bike damage, but, there's no obligation. Once you get run over, the driver, unless you take them to court, there's no obligation for them to repair your stuff. And also, how do you repair someone who's undergone being underneath their car? Like, that's the big one for me. It's like, how do you repair that? So, I don't know. Yeah, that's a severe psychological damage. Like, and the worst part is, like, I'm going repair that with $250,000. Well, at least that would pay for medical school. And the worst part is she just got out of her cast just 10 days ago. I remember, I think it was 10 days ago, I was at the surgeon's office with her when they were telling her that she could stop using her soft cast. So she's only been able to walk for about normally for 10 days, and then she gets run over by a car. And so, I don't know, it's going to be something else. Like, I don't know. I like for instance, sometimes people just have like bad luck, I think, because she just got out of, she'd been on crutches for 6 weeks. She gets off the crutches, is able to walk. She gets run over. This girl that got run over here, her mother had just died a couple of weeks ago. And she's young. She's like 20 something years old. So her mother was probably 60 at most. The girl that got run over is my acquaintance, the one that I spend my weekends and nights with. So, like I said, she got ran over yesterday at 5 o'clock. So, yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's just like some people, and the funny thing was, they met when I was pushing her around in that store a few weeks back. So I told her, it's like, that's the girl that got run over. And then when we rode, when I pushed her inside the cart a little further down inside the store, I told her, it's like her mom just died too. And she's just like, oh my God, that's terrible. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, guys, I'm gonna go get some water, try to eat something, and I gotta go pick her up. Like I said, I gotta take her to the doctor, make sure she's physically okay, and then I guess I'll just I'll update you guys on what happens at the bike shop to see if they're gonna be able to repair it, or we're gonna have to call this lady to replace the whole thing, which is probably the most likely scenario, is that she will have to buy her a whole new bike. So, yeah, I couldn't imagine losing a parent, but especially so young. I think she's 22, and her mom had been really, really sick from I'm gonna say cancer. Well, it seems like that's the thing that gets everybody. So her mom had been really sick for like the last 6 months, and oh my gosh, like the time when she was getting really, really sick, she was just getting drunk every night to deal with it. And and then once her mom died, then drinking became even worse. But anyhow, I'm gonna go get some water and something to eat, and then I'm gonna call her, see if she's awake yet. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Remember, don't get run over by cars. It hurts.